Healing House presents the Pain into Power podcast with me, Miss Theo, where we turn pain into power and self-sabotage into self-love. Pain. It's part of the human experience. It's practically unavoidable. So what if we don't avoid it, but actually run toward it? And what if pain wasn't here to break us, but to awaken us? This first season features incredible guests sharing their personal journeys of transformation, the moments that cracked them open and showed them their true strength. So follow along on Instagram at Healing House of Theo, that's HealingHouseofTheo, or at the Pain into Power podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you may listen and watch podcasts. Like, subscribe, and join the community. Welcome, fam. Let's turn this pain into power. Hello, Nyojong, Swastiastu, Namaste, Hola, and Kia ora, here from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm Miss Theo, and welcome to the Pain into Power podcast. If you're listening to me right now, I'm so honored to have you here on this journey with me. This podcast is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And it's all about turning our pain into power and our self-sabotage into self-love. Something that I've dedicated myself to working and transforming and empowering my own self and now others to do for these past 10 years. I've been on quite the painful journey of my own, as maybe you are too, if you're watching or listening to this. And pain is a part of the human experience, and we can let it either take us over and bring us down and keep us stagnant and trapped, or we can see it as an opportunity to empower ourselves, to grow, to heal, to break ancestral cycles, and to gain our truest strength and power inside of ourselves. So if you're listening to this, again, thank you. And I just hope that one of these episodes, if not some or many or all of them, will help you in some little or big way on your journey. We're all here breathing the same air, experiencing a lot of the same things in this life. So why don't we help each other on our journeys? I'm Miss Theo, Earth Angel, Demon Slayer, Spiritual Siren, Reiki Master Teacher, Soul Transformational Guide, Healing Artist, Photographer, Videographer, Director, etc., etc. Honestly, I just like to live life and experience things. But I found that it took me going through a lot of pain in order for me to really come to my truest self. And that comes from conditioning from the way you were brought up, conditioning from the society that you were brought up in as well. Also what we see on TV, what we see in media, what we've been told that we should and should not be or do. But the truth is, the only person who truly knows what you should be doing and who you should really be is you. You. You are the driver of your own life. You are your own compass, your intuition, your soul, and your spirit. And many of us have forgotten that because we've plugged into the matrix. We've just allowed other people to tell us what we should and should not do. And so if you're listening to this and you're feeling this inner fire inside of you where you just had it, you've had it with the way that it's been in your life, and you're just tired of being stuck, then this podcast is for you. I have interviewed some of my closest and newest friends on this first season of Pain into Power podcast. And it's people from all walks of life, from healers, musicians, environmental activists, moms, and so much more. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. And I not only want to encourage you to fully embrace and listen to these podcasts and watch these podcasts, but also to use these moments for opportunity of growth in your own lifetime. And begin the conversation, not only with me, please, of course, wherever you may be watching this on YouTube or Spotify, if you find me on social media, please let me know if these episodes have helped you. And also what I can potentially learn from you as well. There's so much that we can learn from each other. And I just want to hold this beautiful space for that. I truly feel that one of my main purposes in this lifetime is to help increase the light. We are in a spiritual warfare right now, the light versus the dark, because we're breaking through. It's the destruction before the dawn. And a lot of the times when we experience pain, we want to just hide and cower. And I get it because I've been there myself. But it was in those darkest times where I was able to shine the brightest, when I allowed myself to. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me. I've been on this journey for like 10 years when I quit my corporate job. And I just also want to show people that you can create the life that you want. But sometimes it takes letting go of old narratives, letting go of people, places, things, jobs, locations, homes that are bringing you down, are not fulfilling you, are not really aligning to your highest vibration. And it is hard to let go of those things, especially if they've been a part of your life for maybe your whole life, or for a very, very long time, a part of your identity. But we are ever evolving human beings and spirits, having a human experience. And depending on what you believe, but I do believe that we come back on this earth to experience the human experience, the highs and the lows, the happiness and the joy, the freedom and the pain, because there's so much beauty in the human emotions. So yeah, come along for the ride. So grateful to have you here. Now, today is December 1st, 2025. And I first recorded my first episode, I believe, in January when I was in Los Angeles. And LA had just started to burn. It was a very, very hard time for Southern California, and a lot of pain. So much pain that so many families and people and individuals were going through, losing their safety, their security, their home, their memories, their belongings. Incredibly sad. But at the same time, what we saw was a community that came together to help each other. Oof. You know, sometimes these things happen to show us how beautiful we are as human beings and how we can absolutely forgive the stuff that doesn't even matter anymore, because when shit gets real, that's when you show up. That's when you show up. That's when you open your hearts, your homes, your pockets, your donations to give back, to help each other. Because what would this world be without each other? We need each other. And I feel like a lot of the times, wherever you are in the world, and maybe this is more of a Western world thing, but in the Western world, or even in America, it can be very individualistic, and what can you do for me? But how about what can we do for each other without any expectation in return? I have been so grateful to cultivate a community of big-hearted people who are wonderful human beings. But that took me work. That took me cutting out the energies that were draining me, that were holding me back, that wanted to keep me small. And I allowed them to keep me small until I was sick of it and I was done with it. And when I found my truth and I found my power, I just went full force forward, even when I didn't know what was ahead of me, even if I was scared. And I have to say, fear can actually be an opportunity for you to overcome and for you to grow as well. Man, when you take that leap of faith, it can be scary. But wow, can it be so fruitful. And just a shout out to all of my guests this year. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. Also, my apologies because I wanted to release this way earlier in the year, but I had to go through some pain of my own. And now that I'm here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, in North Island in Ahipara, north of North Island here in Ahipara, I finally feel like it's the right time for me to share this first episode with you of the pain that I've experienced that led me to this life of freedom here right now. Where do I begin? When I was 25, I moved to Los Angeles, and I originally went for music to pursue my dreams of singing and being a creative artist. But then I quickly fell into security and stability by becoming an ad sales executive. And I was doing digital ad sales for about 10 years, and it provided a very beautiful life. I was able to travel. I was able to help my family buy a home. I was able to bless and spoil my friends with so much love and abundance. But as the years went by, I slowly began to die inside. I became very depressed. I became suicidal. I was no longer myself. I couldn't even recognize myself in the mirror. I started wearing black all the time, like I was at my own funeral. Something was severely wrong. I couldn't even function, and I became very, very, very sick all of the time. It was like I was forcing myself to be somebody that I truly wasn't. So I had to leave that corporate job to save my life. It was a hard decision, but it also wasn't, because as soon as it happened, it just felt right. But then things didn't change right away. I then had to go through so much exploration and discovery and healing, and I didn't know anything about healing and spirituality at that point. I was very much plugged into the 3D world, and I went from being the provider for my friends and family to not being able to provide at all. And I had to discover who I was without the ability to provide for people. I had been pouring my cup out to so many other people that for so long, pretty much my whole life, that I didn't even realize or recognize that I had not been pouring into my own cup, that I was finding worth in outside validation instead of really getting to know the person whose validation really mattered the most, which was mine. So after a couple years of just going through some healing, I still wasn't quite at the level that I wanted to be. I still had a lot of anxiety, especially in my throat. It was manifesting in my body, and I was having a hard time calling in abundance, and I was still working against myself. And when I discovered Reiki and I practiced it every day for 6 months, it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life so much. And I thought it was such an incredible source of healing and medicine that I became a master and teacher, just so that I can share this knowledge with anyone who's ready or willing and wanting to hear about it. I cured myself of so many sicknesses and ailments without man-made medicine, without paying for expensive programs, without shelling out so much money, trusting someone else to tell me how to heal. Instead, I took that power back. And that's what I love about Reiki, because Reiki level 1 is all about self-healing, learning how to do it for yourself and not relying on anybody else. And it all starts with your energy and your mind. And thoughts precede manifestation. And all of these things I didn't know until I had to go through it myself. And in order to get there, it was like mountains of pain. Mountains of my own pain, my family pain, ancestral pain. So much pain. I spent so much time crying and just being alone. And when I was going through this process, most of my friends were still, plugged into the corporate world, getting married, having babies, starting their lives. And here I was, single, alone, really just focusing on healing myself and my generational line. Now, I'll tell you, when you go on this journey, there will be people close or not close to you who may think you're crazy. But you know what? Who cares? Because it's not their journey, it's yours. And even though people may think that you're crazy, you might actually be onto something really incredibly powerful. So continue to trust and have faith in that if it feels right in your gut and in your intuition. Get out of your mind and into your soul. So along the way, when I became a Reiki master, all these things were happening and I was able to help so many people. And it was actually astonishing myself. And it was so fulfilling for me. I felt so fulfilled in a way that making six figures could never fulfill me. Is because I was finally aligning to my highest purpose. Why I came here on earth was to help spread light, to help heal, to help spread unconditional love, and to help others see how powerful they are inside themselves as well. And so I'm honored for everyone who's ever done a session with me, whether that's Reiki or a private soul transformational coaching, or tarot sessions or divination, or just had a special conversation with me. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me and trusting yourself. This is so incredible, and it's truly the way that we can help heal not only ourselves, our ancestral line, but the whole world by creating a little ripple effect. And it all starts with one drop, one step into your healing process. I am so different than I used to be. Before choosing to dive into the depths and the darkness of my pain, I was flighty, I was ungrounded, I was flaky, oh my goodness, was terrible with money. It was so many things. I would be angry sometimes. And now I'm proud to say that I love myself. I'm so proud of myself. I've empowered myself. I'm impressed with myself. And you should be your own best friend. And I'm just so proud of who I've become and the life that I've created from going from feeling trapped in a 9-to-5 job to now traveling the world, feeling free as a bird. When I said I want to travel the world, I want to spread light, I want to experience things, and I finally did it, and I did it. And it took me, a little bit to transition into that. And it took me not listening to the noise of what other people were saying to get here. And those same people who judged me in the beginning, who thought I was crazy to leave hundreds and thousands of dollars behind for a life of simplicity, are now the ones who are asking me, how did I do it? How did I get here? And how can they possibly get here too? And not necessarily having the same life I am, but whatever their form of freedom is, whatever joy and happiness that they want to bring into their lives. And all I can really say is it first starts with being honest with yourself and becoming aware. First step is awareness. And it's also about slaying your ego, starting again, not being afraid to start over, breaking down all of the foundations, everything you've known before, to build a new, stronger, more beautiful foundation for you to stand on. We'll be back right after this commercial break. Welcome to Healing House, a sacred space to seek refuge and refreshment for your mind, body, and soul. Whether you're seeking Reiki energy healing, tarot and oracle guidance, or soul transformational coaching, every session is designed to help you remember who you truly are and come home to your most powerful self. Join me in person or virtually for sessions, certification classes, private coaching, and healing events held around the world. Book your session or explore upcoming offerings at loveisthehighestfrequency.com. Are you ready to change your life starting from the inside out? My private 12-week soul transformational experience is for those who are done repeating old cycles and ready to rise into their most powerful selves. Over 12 weeks, we'll release old patterns, reclaim your power, and realign you with your purpose. This work has truly changed lives, and yours could be next. It would be an honor to work with you. Apply now and learn more at loveisthehighestfrequency.com. It's me, Miss Theo again. Besides being a healer, I'm also an international photographer and filmmaker with a passion for storytelling and capturing magical moments. From weddings to portraits, documentaries to music videos, and lifestyle to branding, I don't just take photos, I translate energy into art. Based wherever the story takes me, from Hawaii to Bali to Thailand to LA, I'm available worldwide for shoots, events, and creative collaborations. Check out my portfolio at theotakesphotos.com. Can't wait to create with you. All right, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to that very important sponsored, wait, what do you call it? Anyways, thank you for listening to that little note from our sponsor, which is probably just me. But thank you for listening anyways. And if you do want to work with me, or if you're curious about what I do and how we can potentially work together, just shoot me a note. Let's have a quick conversation. And I'd love to get to know more about where you are on your journey. Okay, so earlier this year, my friend's mom, who is basically Buddha reincarnate, she's amazing and she's done so much for her community. She told me that I would have a very unlucky year because of my signs and how it's aligned with this year, the year of the snake. And of course, anything I'm told, I listen and I take it, but I also try not to put too much emphasis on it. But she was right. She was right. This year was one of the hardest, but also one of the most fruitful and transformative years of my life. LA started burning. That already was like, a dumpster fire. And then I left and went to Bali. And in Bali, Bali is like a very nurturing mother. But she doesn't always give you what you want, but she's going to give you what you need. And I didn't know. I thought I was going to go there and I was going to make all these contacts and I was going to make all these networks and meet all these people. But when I got there, I immediately just had to rest. I had to rest, as if they were preparing me for something. And beforehand, I was able to make all this money, and then suddenly everything stopped. And all started when I got into a moped accident. And when my face hit the side of that temple wall, in that second, I already knew, boom, oh shit, shit's about to go down. And if you've been to Bali before and understand the energies of an island like Bali, it has very dualistic energy. It's very high, it's very low. And is very sensitive, and I'm very sensitive to that energy. So I knew that it was a message, because me and my girlfriend Dominique, or I call her Diesel all the time, we were already getting signs to slow down, and we still did not listen to those signs because we were trying to check things off the list for the documentary that we were filming. And I got on the moped. I knew I shouldn't have gone on it. It was way too big for me. And instead of saying no and listening to my intuition, I got on it anyways and bam, immediately ran my face into the side of a wall. Thank spirit and universe, or whoever you believe in, just thank God that I didn't break any bones. And it could have been so much worse than it was. But in that moment, I knew that things would change. And from that moment on, things started happening. She lost her debit card. Then I lost my debit card. My computer completely would not turn on, would not work. And then my camera, the one that we were using to film the documentary, started malfunctioning. And all of the clients that I was getting beforehand completely stopped. Everything was being taken away from me.
everything and everything. Now, this is not the first time that I've experienced a trust fall like this. So I knew that universe was preparing me for something bigger, that I just had to continue to trust, even though they're taking literally everything away from me. All my money, all my ways of making money, all my ways of getting money. And I just had to surrender into this moment and trust that I would be taken care of. And then at the end of April, I got on a FaceTime with my mom who was in the hospital. And that was the biggest thing that was taken away from me, was my mom. Something that I had always dreaded because she's been sick for a while, but this was unexpected. She caught a virus and it just quickly overtook her body. I had 24 hours to decide what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if this was just another stint of hers, like in the hospital, which happened a lot, or if I had to go home. But when I saw her, I just knew, okay, this is it. Oh. So I flew back home. I went to Minnesota. I flew in about a day and a half before she took her last breath. And when I got there, I immediately did Reiki session on her because I've always wanted to make sure that I was there for my parents' transition so I could help lighten their load and their spirit so that they can fly a little more freely and lighter. And I'm so grateful that I was able to be there for her. And she was there by my side while I was doing it on her. And it was so special. And there was a moment where when I finally accepted that she was not going to come back, that I hated it. I remember just being in the hospital thinking, I fucking hate this, which lasted about like 30 seconds to a minute. And then I just breathed and I said, no, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Grateful for the time we have had together because she lived way longer than any doctors ever thought she would. Grateful for being able to be here before she took her last breath. Grateful that I still have my father and my siblings around. Grateful for how it's transformed us as a family. Grateful for the opportunity for this pain to further transform me. And grateful that my mom is free and no longer suffering or in pain. I'm not saying saying that you should switch from, sadness to gratitude right away. But for me, I chose to do that. And I saw the beauty in this pain. And I believe that once you ascend into the spirit realm, you're free. And you also see things in a completely different way than we do as humans. You really get to experience the expansiveness of being in spirit form and experiencing pure love and joy. And that's something that was really difficult for my mom to experience in this lifetime because she had suffered so much. So for me, I was so happy for her. And a little envious too. I was like, oh, I can't wait till I can go, So if I ever pass in this, from this world and I ascend into a spirit realm, please do not feel bad for me. Please feel excited for me. Please feel grateful that I get to fly free. But what also happened at this point was I had nothing. My whole bank account got drained, everything, because I had to pay for so many things in Bali. And everything was taken away from me. And I hated it because it was the time where my ego felt like I needed to provide the most for my family at this time because of what was going on. But what happened, the universe had planned for me was to take everything away from me. So I had to learn how to receive, which is one of the hardest things for me to really work on in this lifetime. I was very hyper masculine, and that's just a trauma trait, right? To protect yourself. No one's going to take care of me, so I'm going to take care of myself, right? And I was wearing the pants in and in the relationships. I was always very masculine and not necessarily allowing the masculine person in my relationship to take on that role. And when this happened, I had to get over myself. I had to let go of my ego and ask my dad for a little bit of money because the next few months, I was not in the space to work. And my work is very people oriented, and if I'm holding space for a Reiki session, I can't do that if I'm just suffering and broken on the inside. So the next few months, I just spent so much time with my family, allowed myself to rest, received help from my dad financially, and that actually needed to happen because it then also healed our relationship, and it also healed my ability to receive from a man, and rebuilding and reshaping that part of my relationship with my dad. Right? It starts with the first masculine in your life, and we've had to grow and heal from that. I'm not perfect, he's not perfect, but we're trying our best to build a new relationship with each other. So, Dad, if you're listening to this, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And I know he's trying his best to heal now, too, because he and my mom were together for almost 50 years. He was her caretaker for 25 years. He's truly the epitome of what love is in a marriage and a relationship. And so for my dad, I just want him to be happy, find freedom, find who he is, experience joy, and experience all the things he wasn't able to experience before. So yeah, shout out to you, Dad. But what I also realized, what the universe was giving me these opportunities of pain so that I can heal. And now that I have mended this part of receiving from my father, I'm now ready to receive from a masculine lover or partner in my life in a way more safe, receiving type of way. And also able to further allow myself to surrender into a soft feminine life, which I always thought like, oh, I'm Miss Independent. I got to do this. I got to do that. Make all this money. But when I was doing that, I was good at it, but it was sucking my soul, because for me, and this is not for every woman out there, right? But for me, I am here to help heal. Okay, are we back? Yes, we are. Here we go. All right, where were we? I just ran out of battery. Self-filming. Okay, so anyways, the point is, it's more in my nature to be healing and nurturing and loving and creating a space for others to heal, to empower themselves, to activate the fire that's already within you, and to help amplify it, and to hold up a mirror to you to show you how beautiful and how powerful and how inspiring you are. You do not have to accept the life that you have right now. You can absolutely change it. If I can do it, you can absolutely do it. But it takes facing the darkness, your pain, all parts of you, the pretty, the ugly, the wacky, the nuances, all the parts that you like, love, and maybe don't like so much. And accepting that as who you are is a part of your design, and it's actually a part of your journey to help build you into your truth, into your most powerful self. So if there are parts of you that you're not happy with, don't shun them. Embrace them. And also embrace your inner child. Ask your inner child what they've been missing and what they need now. What is it that you have not been giving your inner child? Whatever that is, give it to them. Whether it's freedom, creativity, joy, self-love, filling up your own cup first, letting go of all the narcissists, the toxicity of friendships or relationships or people, and letting them go with love and gratitude, letting them go with gratitude for the lessons that they helped you learn. Everyone, everything serves a purpose in your life. And it's up to you to choose to turn that pain into power and self-sabotage into self-love. But you don't have to do it alone. So if you're listening to this, I'm here with you. Our community is here with you too. So please share your story with us. Open up your hearts, your spirit, your soul, your minds. Take a deep breath and learn how to find that inner safety within yourself. And also set healthy ass boundaries, all right? Boundaries are good. And there's also phases and evolutions of your life. Give yourself grace, give yourself patience, and most importantly, give yourself unconditional love. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. We'll dive more into other parts of the pain journey as we go on this podcast. But for now, thank you for being here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and put on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any episode. My guests this season are incredible human beings who have done amazing things and who are all so heart-centered. I can't wait to release these episodes for you. Thank you again. Look at the sun has come out now here at the beach in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Wherever you are listening or watching to this podcast, sending you so much love. Mwah. Peace, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, love. Thank you so much for tuning into the Pain into Power podcast. If this episode spoke to your soul, please take a moment to rate, review, and share it with someone who might need this message today. You can connect with me on Instagram at Healing House of Theo or visit loveisthehighestfrequency.com to learn more about how we can potentially work together on all levels: energy healing, speaking engagements, tarot divination, empowered photo shoots, soul transformational coaching, visual storytelling, music, and so much more. For podcast business inquiries or to sponsor an episode, please email me at thepainintopowerpodcast@gmail.com. Remember, love is the highest frequency, and pain isn't where your story ends. It's where your awakening begins. Until next time, keep turning your pain into power and self-sabotage into self-love.